Hey YouTube. So last summer I heard of the Deeper Network project, and it immediately piqued my interest because here's a project that actually has some utility. It provides a decentralized private network for its users. So I went ahead and I decided to get myself a Genesis node miner, spend a little bit of money and invest in the project. So in this video, I'm going to go through three different segments. I'll talk briefly about what is a DPN, then how it's gone mining, what kind of rewards and returns I've seen since I started about 4.5 months ago, and then lastly, like how I like using the DPN itself. Is it how it compares to using a VPN and some of the issues that I've had with it. All right, let's jump into the video. All right, so a virtual private network, or VPN, really helps you browse the internet safely and securely because it encrypts your connection and it also hides your location. So you can think of it as an extra layer of security. And I myself do a lot of crypto transactions, and I really like having that extra layer of security in case there's somebody malicious, some kind of hacker that tries to get into my network and get my passwords or do other stuff. And lastly, I don't like having my internet service provider, Comcast, be able to view everything that I do on the internet and potentially sell that information to other people. So what I've used in the past was Surfshark, which is a VPN service. It's pretty cheap. You get 2 years for $2.30 a month. You can do unlimited devices, and basically I'll show you what it is. You just have a download, and then you can choose whatever country that you want to show your IP address to. So we'll go ahead and we'll just click here, connect. It's usually pretty quick. Connected. It would show my IP address from Boston instead of my personal one right now, and now I've got the VPN up and running. Right. So the Deeper network provides a decentralized private network. So basically, instead of Surfshark as the central company which runs the whole VPN, it's really everyone who has a miner like this running the network. So it's decentralized, right? It's not one company, it's a bunch of different people. I think there's around 50,000 devices on the network now. So there's a bunch of other differences between DPN and VPN, but essentially it provides an extra layer of security on top of your network. And being in crypto a lot, I tend to try out these decentralized networks. So yeah, that's the high-level overview of it, and let's get into the mining. All right, so let's talk about the mining aspect of this project. So you get your miner, you plug it in between your router and your modem, and it's pretty much plug and play. It doesn't use a lot of electricity, which is great. It's the equivalent of just having a light bulb on, pretty much. So yeah. Let's talk about how much I'm making. So in order to get that miner, that Genesis miner, which was one of the ones in the beginning, you needed to stake a certain amount. The lowest amount that you could have staked was 20,000 DPR. And if you stake that much, this is a calculator which they provide, you would make 21.37 Deeper a day, or $3.1. Let's change this price down to what it is now. It's about about 10 cents right now per DPR. So I actually staked the 76,800 DPR to have a credit score of 300. So this is about how much I'm making a year. So if you go over to my spreadsheet here, I did buy DPR at around 6 cents. So this was my initial cost. It's gone up to 10 cents now, so I have made around $3,000 on just the price appreciation. And then so far I've had it up for 4.5 months now, and I've made around $1,500 that I've mined, which has been great. It's been consistent, and one of the other cool aspects of this project is the longer that you have your device or your miner up and running and the more traffic that you share, your credit score rises as well. So I started at that 300 and I've already gone half the way there to 400. So then if we go back to the calculator and we go to credit score 4, you can see that I'd be earning almost double, or yeah, just double what I'm making now, because right now if we go to the PCR mining, we can see that I'm getting that 111 DPR every day, which has been great. So the actual mining itself has been very consistent, and happy with that. I'd be happier if the price appreciated a bit more, but considering what's going on in the market right now, Bitcoin down to around 34,000, DPR has only gone down. The high was I think 17 cents, so it hasn't really gone down that much. And even before the crash of Bitcoin, not crash, but big sell-off of Bitcoin, it's been around this. And I think it's because when you do stake, you have to keep your coins locked for 90 days. So there's a lot of people that probably are continuing to stake and are long this project and aren't selling. So that is a good sign, but there are a lot of people getting a ton of rewards, which does inflate the supply. So we'll see what the price does. But yeah, that's the segment on the mining, and let's talk about what, in my opinion, is the most important part: the actual DPN services that they provide. Okay, so there's 3 different modes that you can configure on your DPN device, and the first one is full route, and this sends all network traffic through the specified tunnel or country. Right, so if we go here and we go to full route, it'll come up with the country that you want to route through, and this is great because this is applied to all of your devices. Unlike the VPN where I log in from my computer right here, that just applies to this single device. But full route, it protects every single device on the network. It's all routed through whatever country that you want. You'll notice here though that my country of the United States is not listed, so you can't use full route in the current country that you're in. So I thought to myself, okay, well, I'll just do it in Canada. And this came with a whole host of issues. The first one being that, all of my websites were in Canadian dollars. I was getting all of the Canadian, websites, which are different than the US websites. And my fiance was not happy about that, seeing everything in, her Target was in Canadian dollars, and also, I went on my TV to try to watch HBO Max, and it said, HBO Max is not available in Canada. So there's just a whole host of issues that happened with that. And, I tried to contact support on Telegram, but didn't really get much feedback there. So I spoke with this guy, Jasper, and basically said, hey, how come I can't use full route within my own country, right? So if you go up here, oh yeah, so it drastically slows down. I guess you can do it, but it drastically slows down your internet speeds to the point where it's unusable. So like I showed you on the VPN, like I VPN'd from Boston, right? That's within the US. That works perfectly fine. So how come you can VPN from the US, but you can't DPN? And then I asked, is this in the roadmap to be fixed? So he answers the question. He gives me that link about DPN versus VPN, which isn't really what I asked. And he said recommended using Smart Route for daily operations. Okay. So right away, I'm not getting the full protection on all devices that I want if I use Smart Route. Okay. So it says if HBO is not available on your smart TV after switching, please turn off your TV. Okay. So I said to him, thanks for providing that URL. I learned a little bit, but that didn't really answer my question, right? I asked him, like, how come I can use VPN within the US, but I can't use DPN? Is it on the roadmap to be fixed? Let's see if he answers now. He says, as I mentioned, you can use VPN service and choose a tunnel within the US with no issues. I think it means you want to hide your real IP and browse websites all the time. If so, you can create a US tunnel and set full route to it. But we don't recommend it, as it will drop your internet speed. So yeah, like I said, you can do it, but it really drops your internet speed. I said, for the third time I'm asking, I can use a VPN, but I can't use DPN. Is it in the roadmap to be fixed? Like, he still never answered that question, right? Sorry for the late reply. Yes, you can use US tunnel for sure. Please kindly be informed when you use DPN, you will connect to an individual node. If the node's bandwidth is lower than yours, it will drop the internet speed. Otherwise, you will be fine. So now he's kind of going back on what he said initially. Still never answered me if it's going to be in the roadmap. So that was like the first very frustrating part, that you can't use full route within your country. So he recommended using smart route, right? So if we go ahead and we use smart route, right? This basically reroutes your IP address for certain websites, and those websites aren't even known to the general public. So I had a couple questions about smart route. So the next option is to do smart route. This is tedious and not nearly protective because you literally have to put in every domain you want for protection. So if we go here, we go to tunnel, and we can tunnel and we can add that tunnel. So I've already done that. So then you go to routing and you go to domain config, right? So let me add like target.com. Select tunnel. I'll do Canada. Add that. And even with this, like, I had issues. Like, it didn't even work all the time. So let's see. I'll go to target and see if I get the Canadian website. And this internet takes forever because of this. See, it doesn't even work. It would just block sites. That was my issue. Let's see. This was in November, so yeah, 2 months ago. Basically, I said, the site can't be reached. Is this a common problem? Any idea how to solve it? Really, it's supposed to bring me to the Canadian version of that website if I have Smart Route on and I select that tunnel. So basically, we go back and forth. He suggested a couple different things that didn't really work. I started asking him a little bit more about Smart Route, and is there a list of the predefined rules I can see? I don't understand how DPN would know the websites I want my IP address to hide, and for the ones I do not. So basically, like, they have this list of all of the sites that get the DPN service for. How do they know the ones that I want versus the ones that they want? So he basically replied, we don't know when the clients want their IP hidden. Our predefined rules are designed to ensure we can access the website with regional restrictions. For example, I can access www.hbo.com in Japan with DPN Smart Route. The predefined rules will help us access it. So I think I asked him, like, is there a list of the predefined rules I can see? Is there a list? And what do you say? Sorry, we don't share the rules. So, I mean, this is supposed to be like an open project for the most part. I'm surprised that they don't share those rules at all. So basically, the two options, or the two modes, were unusable to me. So I just have been having DPN disabled, and even with that, I had issues, because even with it disabled, there's still web filters, and a lot of the websites that I would try to go to would get blocked. I guess they thought that they were malicious or that they were ads. Um, so basically, I have to go ahead and like add them to a whitelist. So go in here and say, okay, I don't want this website blocked. But I just went ahead and like just disabled ad blocking and a bunch of everything else. So, I've had a lot of issues with it. I have it off, so I really just use my VPN still, which is pretty disappointing. Uh, so I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, just stay in tune with this project. Keep earning the rewards, but hopefully they'll get a lot of these issues fixed. I think that they're doing something revolutionary and pretty new. So issues like this are supposed to be expected. But I mean, I've had it for 4.5 months now, and not much. I haven't really seen much that was fixed. And oh yeah, the last issue, which I'll probably do a whole other video on. Basically, the fan in my miner, broke after 4.5 months. It was making weird noises, so I had to deconstruct it. That's why this is pretty much empty right now. Um, I opened it up and replaced it with a fan that I had to buy off Amazon. So yeah, overall, pretty disappointed in the project itself, from a perspective of delivering what the product's supposed to do and work. For somebody who's not in IT or not very technical, like they would experience a lot of these issues and pretty much not know what to do. So yeah, hopefully they'll get a lot of these issues fixed, and please feel free to comment if you've had some of these issues, or maybe I'm just doing something wrong, or if I've misspoken about anything. But yeah, that's a wrap. If you liked this video and learned something, please give it a like to support the channel, and then subscribe for future content. I'll be doing a bunch of different crypto projects in the future. Thanks.